Shannon, how shocking was this?
We saw some other things on the video, too. We're going to get to that a little later. You're going to get that. No good, Skip, man. Stop it. It's shocking. On a scale of 1 to 10, how shocking? A 15. Skip, look, it's a rivalry game. I picked the Buccaneers to win. I picked the Buccaneers to win convincingly. But if you had told me that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, if they get to 10 points, they win this game, and they were going to get 0 points, I said, man, get out of here. Tom Brady, so in other words, you're telling me Tom Brady is not going to score any points. He's not going to get the team in field goal range. He's not going to do any of that. He's going to throw the ball 48 times, and he's not going to get the ball in the end zone one time. He's not going to get the ball in field goal range one time. There's no way I would have believed that. I would have took any. You could have given me 50,000 of 1 odds. I'm not taking that bet because I'm just giving you away money. And Cam Jordan got it started early, Skip. They sacked him 4 times, picked him off, forced a fumble. And it just seems like you're right. The unique thing that the Saints can do that very few teams can do it is that they can generate pressure with 4. They take Marshawn Lattimore and says, you got Mike Evans wherever you go. They know Tom really doesn't like to push the ball down the field, Skip, because he's 44. In order to push the ball down the field, you have to hold the ball. You got to take at least a 5-step drop. Tom wants to take 3-step drops, get the ball out of his hands quick. Shallow crosses, a lot of jailbreak screens, bubble screens to the wide receivers. And the Saints says, you know what? Now we're going to make you clutch it at least once. Okay, Cam. Okay, Davenport. Okay, guys, it's your opportunity to get a little closer to him. And so, Skip, they were really – what's hurting Tampa, Skip, is Tampa's trying to get Tom Brady this MVP. They start the game out with 12 straight pass plays. They got sacked on 1. Why would you do that? At least make the Saints think you want to run the football. Skip, they ran the ball, okay. 21 for $118, 5.6 yards to carry. But this throw, you played right into the Saints' hand because they kept getting closer and closer. Now, B.A. told Tom, he said, Tom, I want Tom to cut that you-know-what out running the football.
He did?
He's really not used to, especially when he made him cut back, he had no idea that Cam Jordan. It's something about Cam like, I'm on the prowl tonight. He did a great job, Skip, but I'm surprised. And Brady threw it 48 times, 214 yards. That's 4.5 yards an attempt. He has a 19 QBR. He went from first in QBR entering the ball game all the way down to 4th now. And it just goes to show you just how great the Saints defense was last night, Skip. But that game was there for the taking. It wasn't like Taysom Hill. And you asked me, you don't want to know. You want me to take Taysom Hill over Tom Brady? Taysom Hill played bad, too. I just want to throw that out there. If they had a competent quarterback, Skip, the game might have been closer to what it was last year when New Orleans came. You remember New Orleans came there last year, it was 38-3. If they had a decent quarterback, Hill missed so many throws. He was behind the guy. He was over their head. A decent quarterback, they probably beat him 24-27-0. But I'm shocked. I am shocked that Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers offense did not get any points yesterday, considering the defense only gave up 3 field goals.
Okay, are you finished?
Yep.
Because it is now my turn. I am not shocked because I first guessed this on Friday's show, if you remember. I know you don't listen carefully to what I'm saying because you get pretty caught up in what you're saying, but I'm going to quote myself on last Friday's Undisputed. I told you if I weren't such a big Brady fan and if I were a betting man, I would bet a whole lot of money on the New Orleans Saints plus 11 points, which actually rose all the way up to 11.5 by kickoff. You're kidding me. That would have been the easiest money I would ever steal from the bookmakers because there was 4 total games of evidence already in the bank that Tom Brady is lost against Dennis Allen and the defensive coordinator who was the head coach last night of the New Orleans Saints. And I detailed it for you. I broke it into tiny little pieces, which is exactly what New Orleans breaks Tom Brady into every freaking time that they play him. They've done it 4 straight times going into last night. And I'm not sure last night was even as bad as what happened at Tampa a year ago in midseason. It was 38-3, and Brady was a complete and total disaster. And as I showed you Friday, his final interception of that night, 3 of them that he threw, was a give-up interception where he just said, I got to get out of here. And he just threw it across the field up for Gronkowski, a jump ball that New Orleans
Well, it would have been as bad as that night, Skip, if if Taysom Hill wasn't a quarterback. He didn't.
Okay, I'm going to get to that because I think it's my turn now. So the point is, when I look back at, he'd already thrown 2 pick sixes, one in the opener last year in his first game as a Buccaneer, and then obviously one this year at New Orleans. So they already had his number there, but this is total kryptonite for Superman. And it's because Dennis Allen, who, by the way, was a very good safety for L.D. Bell High School, a Texas powerhouse in the Dallas area, and then went on Texas A&M, was a very good safety for them, but wasn't good enough to play in the National Football League. That's the guy who has the GOAT's number. And the way they do it is it's pretty simple. If you can get pressure with 4, and they come like bats out of hell. I've never seen. They look totally different against Tom Brady and an offensive line that has been ranked in the top 3 all year by Pro Football Focus. They destroy it. And Brady gets gun shy. I'll be the first. He's 44 years of age, and he starts to get a little happy-footed, and he starts to see ghosts, and he starts to fall backward, and he doesn't step into many throws against that front 4. They're not even sending 5 or 6. They're sending 4. Yeah. And they are terrorizing the GOAT with 4. And then as Brady completely broke down, and I told you for once, his pregame interview, the one that he did on Wednesday that I quoted liberally on Friday, he was telling you the flat-out truth. He wasn't overhyping the Saints. He said they're so veteran. They played together for so long. Their linebackers are so good. And then he broke down each of he called them by their first names, each of the coverage guys in the secondary. They're just the kryptonite because, like you said, you can take Marcus Lattimore and just say, Mike Evans, you're out. You can put what's his name, the safety?
Oh, the one they got the pick last night?
No, the other one. That's been around,
Williams.
No, the other one who's been around forever.
Oh, Malcolm Jenkins.
I always forget his name.
Malcolm Jenkins.
Malcolm. Yeah, because I have nothing but respect that he's been such front and center for the Players Association and through all the Black Lives Matter.
Okay.
And you can put him on Gronk.
Right.
And look at Gronk's numbers. Have you ever seen anything like this? Brady threw him 11 balls last night. He caught 2 for 29. Skip, 2 for 29.
He had one of them nights, Skip. We've all been there.
Me? 2 for 29.
He had one of those nights, man.
This is the GOAT tight end. This is the GOAT quarterback throwing 11 balls to number 87 when he needs him desperately because, as we know, they got decimated. Slowly but surely, they were decimated. So by the end of the night, they not only lost a game, I'm afraid they lost their season because what happened to Chris Godwin did not look good to me. And I know he was able to walk off under his own power. That just looked bad.
It did.
And I know he tried to do a little half sprint over on the sideline, tried to come back, but they said no, and we'll await the MRI today. Mike Evans fell, and I thought he'd concuss because he did the whiplash on the turf, but then they said, no, it's actually his hamstring. Once his hamstring goes, you better be careful. It might be a month. And if it's a month, they're going to be in big trouble because that's going to bleed into the playoffs, right? So here's the irony of all this. The guy I didn't want them to bring back because he broke his zero tolerance rules was Antonio Brown. He committed a felony with a fake vaccination card. And now it has come to this for the Buccaneers. And one night it came to, can they be saved by Antonio Brown because he's due to come back? And I guess they're going to now welcome him back because he's a godsend.
They were always going to welcome him back.
Well,
but you knew that.
Well, I didn't know that. I thought if Bruce Arians had anything to do with it, and apparently he does not. It was Tom's call, and now Tom desperately needs him. But now I'm looking down at the list. They started the night without Antoine Winfield, who's the quarterback of their defense. I have no idea how bad he is. Then they lose Leonard Fournette, as we call him, Lombardi Lenny, and he did John Elway helicopter. Well,
you saw the split that he did.
It was a split, and the hamstring went, and he needed help to hobble off to the locker room. Could he be gone for the rest of the year? He sure could. And then who had the walk-off touchdown the week before? Perriman. Well, he didn't even make it to the game because he's on the COVID list. So now we got things. And Levante David limped off with some kind of foot injury. It's sometimes, for a defending champ, as you well know, not meant to be. I mean, it seemed like in one night, the injury god said, you guys, get out of the way. You know, it's time for Green Bay. Heck, it might even be time for Dallas.
But Skip, we talked about this, and remember we talked about everybody said, oh, they're going to be so much better. I said, guys, it's not that simple. And Tom knows it's not that simple. We're going to be so much better. Tom, you got very fortunate that you didn't really lose anybody to significant injury last year. But to run it back.
Well, it always takes that. It's last man standing, right? Okay, they were the last men standing because they were okay. They didn't even have Richard Sherman last night. He's still fighting with his Achilles tendon. So I don't know. If all those guys are out, you better believe they're out.
Well, Skip, you got the last 3 games. You got Carolina and away, and then you got the Jets and
away, and then Carolina.
So yeah, Carolina, Jets, Carolina.
Yeah. Okay.
You don't think you should be able to win those games? Skip?
I'm not sure you can win at Carolina if they're decimated this way. I'm just not sure. So what did we see last night? It got so bad for Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr. Would you believe that the Buccaneers were 0 for 0 inside the red zone because they never got to the red zone? What if I bet you before the game the Buccaneers will never make it inside the 20 of the Saints? Inside the 20?
But that's why
Are you kidding?
That's why it's so surprising hearing you talk, because you said you're not surprised at all. You're not surprised they didn't reach the red zone? You're not surprised they didn't score any points?
Okay, remember, he came into this game with 8 touchdowns to 7 interceptions, and he left with 8 touchdowns to 8 interceptions against Dennis Allen's defense.
Right.
He came into this game averaging 20 points a game against New Orleans. They came into the game leading the NFL at 32 points a game.
37.5 at home.
Okay. Okay. And yet, all the evidence screamed at you for the previous 4 games. And I'm going to throw in the playoff game, too, because Brady didn't even throw for 200 yards at New Orleans. They pulled it off. Guess how they pulled it off?
Defense turnovers.
They picked off Drew Brees 3 times.
Yeah.
And what happened on what you call the turning point play of the game? My man Jared Cook, he's everywhere. He's on every good team. And then somehow he's on somebody else's team the next year, right?
Yep.
Jared Cook catches a pass that looks like he's going to go a ways with. And Antoine Winfield Jr., a rookie, comes and strips him of the football. That's 4 key turnovers that took Brady actually off the hook for a pretty mediocre, quiet game, right? Okay, so they've had his number constantly. And if we could start off with his first throw of the night, it's 12:45 left in the first quarter. It's 1st and 10 and it's 21. Can we see what Marshawn Lattimore did on the first throw of the night? This is when I sat back and said, oh, my God. He throws it. I thought Marshawn picked it, but he couldn't quite control it to the ground, and it did hit the ground, so it wasn't an interception. But how close was that?
Very.
That's a Marshawn Lattimore who says, I know this route. I got this route. I can jump this route in my sleep. On the GOAT, I've never seen such tight man-to-man coverage because that's who they are. They can lock everybody up, and after the stud receivers started going out, little Scotty Miller, he runs 4-3. Could he get open? Nope, he couldn't get open. And Tyler Johnson, I loved him, made a huge catch at New Orleans that helped save the game in the 4th quarter. Was he anywhere to be found last night? Nope, he was not. He's just not good enough against that secondary. And why? How could Buffalo go to New Orleans a few weeks back and win 31-6? I have no idea. They rise and shine against the GOAT.
Well, Skip, first of all, I don't know why Tom is throwing the ball to that Tyler Johnson against Marshawn Lattimore. And to begin with, I understand you have confidence in your guys and you want to show confidence. But Marshawn Lattimore is smart enough to understand, Skip, when you stutter like Tyler Johnson was stuttering and you open up, you're coming with the slant. So he's going to drive it.
Well, that's
what the good DBs do.
But usually on the first play of the game, you're playing it a little looser, just a touch looser.
No.
Okay.
I mean, you watch what he does. He's checking his feet. You're not running a go. Who runs a go route stuck checking their feet? Okay. So a good DB knows, oh, you're running a slant. Let me drive it. And you see you beat him inside.
Well, trust me, Tom Brady went into the game thinking, I got to get my confidence back. I got to hit a couple of easy ones early to get a little rhythm going. And he thought that was going to be an easy one, and it should have been picked.
But here's the thing, Skip. If they know Tom wants to get an easy throw, who else knows Tom won't get easy throws?
Okay.
The defense. Because, Skip, like I said, now he's 44. He doesn't want to get hit. In order for you to get the ball down the field, you got to take some shots. Tom ain't trying to take those shots like that at 44, nor should he. No. I get it.
Okay, so you're down on Taysom Hill, but I got to show you 2 plays that Taysom made in the first half that actually won the football game, if we could see them back-to-back, to Callaway, to Marquez Callaway. This is Taysom Hill. This is pretty good. I'm going to give him that. That's a sweet throw.
Yeah, that's an A+ throw, yeah.
Okay, that's a game winner because that set up a touchdown. Then
a field goal.
Here we go again. I mean, a field goal, yeah. And then he throws another one to Callaway.
That's a jump ball.
It was like a weird, Chris Collinsworth said, it's almost like a weird back shoulder throw into the middle of the field, away from the 2 safeties. Field goal. Okay,
right.
Well, 6-0 was game over, right? As it turned out, and he made 2 throws.
Right.
And then, as Taysom said after the game, the flow of the game, the way our defense was playing, dictated how we call plays because they just ran the ball through most of the second half. Right. They didn't even put it in harm's way.
Well, I think the thing is, Skip, is you're right. as long as we don't turn the ball over, give Tom Brady a short field, we like our chances of him not being able to drive the ball, considering how well our defense is playing. But I don't even think he understood what was happening, Skip. That was called an overlap. They run the crossing route, and the backside corner falls up. If he leads him, he's going to pick that play. He back shoulder. I don't even know if he really did.
Maybe he threw a bad pass.
Exactly.
Maybe he was lucky. I don't know, but it worked.
It works. Skip. What's surprising for me, I'm surprised that New Orleans won. Because I thought Tampa, and I said this, I thought Tampa would cover the points 11 and a half. I said, Skip, they're going to win by 2 touchdowns. 0 points, though, Skip. The man hadn't been shut out home in his whole entire career. He's played 22 years. The last shutout, Skip, was in Miami. You know Miami's a house of horrors for him. Yep. And he got shut out 21-0 in 06. So that's 15 years ago.
That was by Nick Saban, believe it or not. Nick Saban?
That was in 2006. Ooh. That's 15 years ago.
Okay, let me show one more bad GOAT play. It's 3rd and 7 at the 21. This is 7:08 left in the second quarter, and this is the deepest penetration by the Buccaneers all night. They actually had it down to the 21-yard line, and Brady does that. You can't do it because you're sitting on a 39-yard field goal, and you just can't take a sack there, and he usually does it. No. That's the one thing he's best at is getting rid of the football.
Right.
But they got him flinching. They got him second-guessing. They got him seeing ghosts, and he goes down, and all of a sudden the field goal is pushed back to 45, and guess what Suck-Up did? He missed it.
Hiccup.
Well, what's that?
Hiccup, Suck-Up,
okay,
hiccup.
Well, there you go. And it's just so demoralizing to the football team, like, we had it all the way down to the 21, and we came away with 0? Are you kidding me? And then here, I'm going to do one more bad Brady just to show that I'm being objective about this. They had a 4th and 1 play at the New Orleans 36-yard line. This is 5:39 left in the third quarter. You got to make a throw, and he tries to do one of his little rainbows to Gronk, and it's a bad idea. It's double covered, and he makes a bad throw. It's just a bad throw because he misses him by 5 yards.
And he's out of bounds. At least give him a chance.
It's a terrible throw. And I thought it was and Malcolm Jenkins is just all over him as usual.
Right.
And it's like you're forcing something that wasn't there because when in doubt, I'm going to throw it to 87, right? That's just who he is. Okay, now speaking of 87, on Tom's benefit here, let's be also objective. He had 5 big drops last night, and 3 of them came from the GOAT tight end. 3 by the GOAT tight end. And here's the one that was the killer. This is the one 1st and 10 at the New Orleans 27. This is 2:01 left in the third quarter. He throws him a sweet ball, same sort of route, and I don't know, Gronk lost it in the lights, I guess.
I don't know if he was thinking it was coming, Skip.
I don't know.
Okay, he caught it. He got it. Yeah.
I don't know. It's just like,
He didn't pick it up. He didn't pick it up soon enough.
It literally goes through his hands. Well, if you catch that, it's possible that Gronk's going to Gronk him and score.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you're ahead 7-6, right? If he catches that ball, are you going to have it at the 5 or the 3 or the 2? Are you going to score? Probably. Right. Are you going to be ahead 7-6? Would that tilt the playing field?
It's over. If they could have ever gotten the lead, it was over.
You think so?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so is that not the drop of the night or the can't find it of the night?
And that's what I said earlier, Skip. We've all had those games where we drop one early and we start to press and they get in our head and 1 turns to 2, 2 turns to 3, and then all of a sudden Brady doesn't have the confidence that he had in us, and so now he's throwing it when you know we can't catch it. Like that pass right there, Skip, that was out of bounds. Really? You know good well Gronk couldn't caught that. If he needed Stretch Armstrong arm to catch that.
No, I got it.
But he said, I got to be cautious now because if I put it too close, it might bounce up, it might carry him. So it starts to mess with his psychology.
Okay, and then we come down to the final desperation play. It's 3rd and 7, a couple plays later at the 24-yard line on the same drive. And Brady says, okay, I got this. If they can't catch it, I'm going to run it. I'm going to run it. I don't care what you say. I'm 44, but I'm going to get this first down. I'm going to run. I'm not going to run it because Cam Jordan got him from behind, strip, and that was basically the end of the night for the GOAT. But he did have one last throw in him, and unfortunately, Gardner Johnson picked it off. And if we could see the final, this is the run. Now, that was pretty ugly, right? That looked 44-ish to me.
But, Skip, he don't even see Gardner Johnson. He thinks he has him. He don't even see him.
It was to little Scotty Miller.
Yeah, he don't even see him, Skip. You see where Gardner Johnson is?
Well,
he's like, oh, I got this one, baby.
How many times have you seen Tom Brady this year throwing on the run? Not very many times. Okay, so he's throwing on the run, is trying to escape to the right and trying to throw a little sidearm flip. He's trying to go Mahomes, and that's the end of that deal. And he goes crazy, and he screams at Dennis Allen over on one sideline. Then he goes back to his sideline and throws another tantrum by actually throwing the tablet.
Why are you yelling at Dennis Allen? Why would he do that, Skip? We got to talk about this.
We're going to talk about it.
We got to talk about this.
Okay, but it's just who he is, and he lost it. That was the ultimate frustration game for Tom Brady because he knows they got him. No team in his history. He had gone 255 games without being shut out. 255?
Right.
That's impossibly great, and this was impossibly bad, but not unpredictable.
But, Skip, no. Okay, if you want to say the losing wasn't unpredictable, okay. But, Skip, shut out. There's no way you're not surprised that Tom Brady at home, which he had never done in 22 years, got shut out and he scored 0 points and the opposing team had 9. You got to be shocked. There's no way you're not shocked that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers got blanked with that guy at quarterback. You said that's the GOAT. That'll be the equivalent of LeBron James scoring 2 points or 0 points in a game.
No team has come close to having his number like this one has.
You can have his number.
I got it. But if you look hard at the body of work that Dennis Allen has against Brady, it's fairly predictable. Not that he would be shut out, but that they would win, and it would be very low scoring with Taysom Hill as the rival quarterback.
In those 4 losses, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have averaged 20 points. Average 20 now in those 4 losses. Skip, he got 0.
He got 0.
And you're not surprised by that?
I'm not, but here's my final prediction. It appears that Aaron Rodgers and company will have 2 playoff games at home to get to the Super Bowl. That's what it appears to be right now.
No. See, you try to jinx him.
And I will also make this proclamation right here, right now. If Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr. gets the Buccaneers to Lambeau for a 2nd straight year, Brady will beat Rodgers again. He just will because he owns Rodgers the way New Orleans owns him.
Well, first of all, actually, that's not the case. And if you look at it last year, Tom Brady had 3 touchdowns, but he also had 3 interceptions. His defense bailed him out again.
He lost his 2 safeties during the game, so he's just
He's not throwing to safeties. He's not throwing to safeties. No, he was throwing to Green Bay safeties. Don't do that, Skip. You see what you do? You talk about, oh, it's the safeties. You never give those guys when they win. You don't mention anything about the safeties. You mention Thomas Edward Patrick Brady IV. Okay, put that blame on Thomas Edward Patrick Brady IV. The defense played outstanding.
He's just junior. You're making him 4 removed.
Let me ask you a question.
Maybe last night he was the 4th.
Let me ask you a question. How did the defense play last night? Was the defense any good last night?
It was actually the silver lining to the night.
Okay,
they're starting to come alive.
Yeah, so that loss is on who? That loss belongs to who? No, I want to hear you. No. Who does that loss fall at the feet of?
Rob Gronkowski.
No, not Rob. Really, Skip? I can't believe you did that.
3 drops and dropped what could have been the game winner?
Hold on. All I know is somebody had 22 incompletions, a pick, a fumble.
Okay, I got it. You remember I said this. If they can get to Lambeau, they will win again because they beat him twice last year, once at home. And when they beat him at home, they destroyed him in Tampa last year.
Well, they destroyed the Saints. You might have to play the Saints again. You might have to play the Saints again.
No other way to look
Is that what you want?
Tom
Yep, bring them on.
Struggled yesterday, and the visual of him chucking the video, the tablet, will live on in my brain.
Thank you for watching. You can subscribe here to get the latest from the show, and be sure to check out more of the best clips from Undisputed, or go watch a few other segments from our other shows on FS1.